I told you guys I wasn't going to work on hard times anymore, but my plans have changed. Probably because when I have a machine in my possession that needs to be repaired, I feel compelled to work on it. I didn't sell it quick enough. Another reason we're doing this video, I'm going to try to see if I can fix what's going on with this motorcycle, is that I started thinking about its symptoms. If you remember, it runs too rich. And in this context, that means the engine gets too much gas in relation to air. Why don't we talk about the symptoms of a motorcycle that runs too rich before we move on to the possible solution?
Okay.
And what I'm thinking about. Does that make sense?
That we're going to talk about it?
Well, okay, so I have a possible easy solution to the problem with just things I have on hand.
All right.
And that's why we're going to take another stab at the old smack over. But in case anybody's listening to this video for informational purposes, you chose the wrong video. Let's talk about what running rich presents itself as. First of all, if your motorcycle is running rich, it will run best when the engine is cold, which this one does. It runs at its very cleanest, best performance right when I start it up. This hasn't run in a couple weeks, and when I start it up, it'll run pretty good and then kind of go downhill from there. And by downhill, I mean it'll idle when I start it in just a moment, but then let it warm up for a few minutes and it won't idle anymore. And if you come over here, the previous owner has been trying to fix that problem. This is the idle screw. See that black screw?
Yeah.
It's turned in a lot, almost all the way. The spring's completely compressed.
So they dialed it up.
They tried to dial it up, but it wasn't dialed enough. Still doesn't idle once the engine's warmed up. Another symptom of the engine running rich is if it's a two-stroke, it'll smoke a lot more than it should. Even though the gas might be mixed at 40-1, like this is. It also runs generally sluggish and kind of like it just got out of bed if it's running rich. It's really hesitant to rev up. It's like you're trying to drag it instead of it being enthusiastic.
So you need to give it a meaningful
kick in the pants.
Yeah.
Just to make it move. That's what running rich is. Raspy sounding. I mentioned earlier, croupy sounding. It would be like instead of breathing clean oxygen, you are trying to inhale misty water droplets. Like you're trying to breathe in a sprinkler spray. That's what this does. I'm trying my best here with the words. They're not the best for communication, but it's all we have. I think that's all I can think of. If you know of any other symptoms of a rich running machine, let me know. Camera girl or people watching. Start it up now. So this hasn't been started in a while. I'll choke it, although it might not even need the choke. Let's try it without the choke. That's another symptom of an engine that runs rich. It doesn't even need the choke. We'll see if this one has that symptom as well. How many kicks, camera girl?
I don't know, but I think that motorcycle's running so rich it bought you new shoes.
These are new shoes. My other ones were getting worn out, but I was wearing them anyway. However, the final reason for their departure is that, unlike the motorcycles in this garage that need to be repaired, the neighborhood cats are intact.
Oh.
The shoes got sprayed. That's what I was trying to work out into a joke. Did it play?
I don't know. I laughed.
I say 3 kicks.
3?
Yeah.
2. Oh, nope.
Maybe kick infinitum. Try it with the choke.
11.
11. All right, idle right now. We're already off the choke. Revs okay. Look over the smoke. And when I give it gas, it doesn't want to sing. It doesn't want to get up into that higher register. It just kind of sounds foggy. Listen here. See the cloud behind us? That's not normal. And it's already almost ready to die and idle. So we'll see if we can hang in there. No. Is that a good demonstration as far as you're concerned?
Oh, yeah.
As it warms up, it runs even worse. Gets even more resistant to revving and won't even idle for as long as it did. So back to my original storyline, I started thinking about what the problem could be with this. And it reminded me of another motorcycle I had years ago. It was a KDX 200. I went all the way on that motorcycle. Brought it back from a basket case, and it is a really nice street legal, good running machine. But when I started that one for the first time, when I got it, it acted really similar to this. Although it was even worse. I should move along, you're fiddling with your fingernails.
Come on, come on.
After a lot of diagnosis, which is in those videos, on a whim, I decided to try a different carburetor. Even though the carburetor that was on it was clean, the jetting was correct, which describes this carburetor. It's clean. The jets are actually a little bit on the lean side compared to what a lot of people run in these motorcycles. When I say jetting, that's the little holes that the fuel goes through that are inside the carburetor. And you change those to tune the motorcycle. I had another carburetor that fit my KDX 200 from another motorcycle. It was this carburetor. Still haven't told you guys what this is from, but I put this on the KDX 200 and it was an immediate difference. The motorcycle got some pep in its step when I put this carburetor on. Coincidentally, this is the exact carburetor, almost, that's here on Hard Times. See the resemblance? Keihin 38mm PWK carburetor. So that's how I solved the problem with that KDX 200. I bought a new carburetor for it because this belonged to another motorcycle. Problem was solved. I can only hypothesize that the old carburetor was worn out. Didn't even know that carburetors could get worn out, and I didn't pursue it any further because my motorcycle was fixed. But let's see if old Hard Times can be fixed with the same medicine. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
You guys let me know if this video hits any different than previous ones. Don't plan on doing a lot of editing with this because I want to see you guys more often at the expense of clunkier footage. We've already taken this carburetor off enough times, and you guys have seen me take carburetors off enough times that I'll just take it off on my own time. Okay, I got the old carburetor off and noticed something right away. The slide from the original carburetor shows some wear marks. See that here and on the front?
Ooh.
Compared to this one, which is at least 5 years newer, maybe 10 years newer. Maybe that makes a difference in how it runs.
Or not.
Or not. Another symptom of the carburetor being too rich is that no matter where I set the idle mixture screw, it ran the same. I could screw this all the way in, take it all the way out. Made no difference to how the engine ran. But none of this is to say a rich running engine always means that the carburetor is worn out. There's other things too that can make an engine run rich. In no particular order other than how they come to mind. Restricted air intake, maybe the air filter is extremely clogged. That would cause a rich condition. Or the tailpipe may be plugged.
Ooh. Sounds uncomfortable.
Practical Joker might have put a potato in there. That'll make it run rich.
What is potatoes?
Carburetor's back on. Just need to tighten the clamps and put the fuel line back. Another possible cause for a rich running engine that I hope isn't the case here is low compression. I don't know for sure if that's a cause of a rich running engine. I've heard theories both ways, that it will cause an engine to run rich and that it will cause an engine to run lean. But if that's the problem, I don't know if we should tackle that job. I need a nut driver because all I'm doing with this clamp is stripping it out. Do you guys want to see a hard times top end job, if that's what it comes to?
I would.
I got the wrong size. 7mm. 7mm. It's not a really serious undertaking. Need to take off the seat, the stupid gas tank, cylinder, head, and replace the piston and rings. Hopefully this will fix it though. Shouldn't borrow trouble.
I think it'll fix it.
I still remember how happy I felt when I installed this carburetor onto the KDX200. Hoping I get the same feeling in just a moment.
When you ha ha ha, that's when I know it's getting pretty serious. Your nose is so red.
You really want to talk to the internet about my red nose?
Well, compared to your hand, you're gonna look at this and think, wow, my nose really was red.
Gas is on. Engine's still pretty cool because it's been a few minutes since we started it and didn't even run it for very long when we did start it. You think it'll fix it?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me if you think there's a difference in how it runs?
Oh no.
I will say nothing.
You might need to do tweaking with the carburetor.
Maybe. But just tell me. Go tell me.
Okay, I'll tell you.
We'll choke it, just for fun.
I think it sounds better. No?
I'm not gonna say anything.
It's really... Did it just die?
It did, but it died kind of the way the CRF 50 died. When I gave it gas, it was like it was getting too much air, not enough fuel. So maybe on this carburetor, I do need to fiddle with the mixture screw. It still smoked the place out though. I'll do some adjusting.
What are you, a chiropractor now?
Oh, okay. It's different. Sorry if I wasn't supposed to say, but yeah, it's different. Okay, it wants to sing now. I think. I don't know which way I need to turn this. I'll start by loosening it. Okay, loosening it didn't do it. I think it sounds different. I think it feels different in the throttle. At first, it acted the same, but it could have just been some residual goo in the system. Maybe a little wishful thinking. I don't know. We'll see if we can get it to idle. If we can get it to idle, that will be some real evidence we made a change.
I don't remember that from before.
That's also evidence of a rich condition. That raw fuel and oil leaking past the exhaust pipe.
Smoking less. I think it's smoking less. Oh, I didn't even hear that.
You sure it's smoking less? We got the fire department called on us. You know, I could sit here and suffocate myself stationarily and postulate about whether it's running better or not. Or we could go back to Prairie City where we rode it last time, see if it runs any better in motion.
Okay.
Will you do that with me?
Yeah.
Next time.
You have to buy me a burger and a milkshake.
That's your traveling fee?
Yes.
I won't ask you to ride it.
I don't want to ride it.
Thanks for watching.